Mr. President, be seated. Mr. President, Council members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we are playing host to at least 5 African countries who have come to showcase particularly the business opportunities that exist in their various countries. I'm sure the President of the Chamber will explain more when he presents his address. May I at this time please check the home. Please check the home. Media, please check the home from your end. Mixer, please mute the audio from the media. Thank you. What I'm saying is meet the media. Where is the home coming from? Hello, thank you. We are led by prominent Nigerian, a finance guru, somebody who has made his mark also in insurance, a 2-time commissioner in Lagos State, a man of many pasts, or many firsts, past president of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, a past president of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, a past district governor of Rotary International, and of course, commander of the Order of the Niger, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, C.O.N. Seated with him this morning, we have the Deputy President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, FCA. Next is the Vice President and Chairman of the Trade Promotion Board, whose board has the responsibility for a seamless delivery of the mandate to organize the International Trade Fair, Engineer Leye Kukolui. We have the members of the Trade Promotion Board here. We have Mrs. Layo Bakari Okewo, who is also a member of the Trade Promotion Board. We have Mrs. Oluwafunmilayo Fashanu, who is the treasurer. Jumoke Fashanu, who is the treasurer, sorry. Olajumoke Fashanu, who is the treasurer, FCA. Well, I can see for the first time this year, he's been very busy. Alaji Kiwa is a member of the Trade Promotion Board. Also with him is Omoba, I choose to call him Omoba this morning, Kunle Adeboale, who is the chairman of the Specialized Exhibition Committee. And the lady who has responsibility for our Comfort, who is in charge of marketing, communication, and protocol on the Trade Promotion Board, Mrs. Victoria Onofokon Obadino. Mr. President, we have with us His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Argentina, His Excellency Alejandro Herrero. He is accompanied by the Deputy Head of Mission, Mr. Nicolas Perazzo. Of course, present with us today, expectedly, our very good friend and sister, who by now must be speaking Yoruba, Mrs. Samantha Gifty, the Consul General of the Ghana Consulate in Lagos. We have the Second Chancellor of the Republic of Rwanda, the High Commissioner of Rwanda, Mr. Vianney Rubagumwaya. Am I right, sir? You're welcome. We have quite a number of people here, but let me also respectfully recognize Mr. Eric Mochu Itong from Afrexim Bank. He is representing the President. You're welcome, sir. Well, we have a good number of people from Afrexim Bank all the way from Cairo. You're all collectively recognized. And of course, we're not forgetting the Nexim Bank too. You're all collectively recognized. I'll be doing more recognitions later. But for now, I want us to, okay, we have Madam Isata Abdullahi Kamara, Deputy Minister, Trade and Investment from Sierra Leone. Sorry. You're welcome, ma. I sincerely apologize. You are looking different today, like day before yesterday. We have Madam Beatrice Calais, the Consul General of Sierra Leone High Commission. You're welcome. I just want to take a risk before inviting the President. Shall we rise for the national anthems of all participating countries to give them that sense of belonging? Please, media. That's for Ghana. Next is Côte d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, sorry. Oh, God bless South Sudan.
Blessing and
Thank you very much. Please, you may be seated. I hope Nigerians are not disappointed. Okay. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. God bless Nigeria. May I now invite the President of NCCI to present his address of welcome. Mr. President, sir.
May I suggest that for the interest of time, we should just stand on the protocols that have been established very ably by the Director of Ceremonies. It's quite a long one, but we want to do like other international trade fairs where we do things promptly and very quickly. Having stood on that protocol, I want to welcome all our very distinguished guests who are here present. The ambassadors, high commissioners, ministers, and all our good friends from Afro-Exim Bank, and all other people who are here to represent their different countries and institutions. Listening to the anthems that have been given this morning, it's very clear that Africa is a very, very great country. And I was very inspired by the anthems that I heard, maybe for the first time, of many of these countries in Africa. And if you go by those anthems and how much it held onto our emotion, Africa has no business being a poor continent, because there are good, you can see the aspirations of our forefathers when Africa got into limelight to be one of the continents of Africa, of the world. But I want to say that we just need to appeal to all our leaders that they must do their best to ensure that Africa becomes a continent of Africa, of the world, to be reckoned with in the realms of other world continents. On behalf of the Council and members of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I have the singular honor to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion, the Africa Day celebration at the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, holding here from last Friday till Sunday, the 13th of November. I am very delighted to acknowledge our keynote speaker and the president of Africa Export Import Bank, Professor Bennett Oke Orama, here represented by Mr. Itong Eric Munger. I also acknowledge the presence of all our guest speakers, special guests, captains of industry, ambassadors, high commissioners, very top officers from different countries of Africa, and of course our exhibitors, our participants. We appreciate your presence here this morning. This year's edition of the African Day celebration with the theme Boosting Intra-African Trade is put together to showcase Africa's potential in natural resource endowment and other gifts of God to Africa. Our rich culture and our large market, and promote innovations in goods, services, science, and technology. We believe that intra-African trade, networking, capacity building, and technology transfer are critical to facilitating the integration of African economies. This is the underlying philosophy of the Africa Hall Initiative by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. This was introduced in 2019 as part of the LITF. The platform connects buyers and exhibitors from all Africa to exhibit their products, services, arts, crafts to the rest of the world. The Africa Hall project is part of efforts by SCCI to support the vision of African leaders in deepening intra-African trade to fast-track industrialization and actualizing integration of the economies in the continent. These are the core mandates of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, AFTA. At this year's fair, we are featuring some African countries in the African Hall as a practical way to promote AFCFTA and boost intra-Africa trade. The countries here present include Ghana. Can you please clap for Ghana? Sierra Leone, Côte d'Ivoire, Rwanda, South Africa, South Sudan, Cameroon, Benin Republic, and some others. We have close to 10 who are here, and I very warmly and heartily welcome my African sisters and brothers to Lagos, Nigeria, the Center of Excellence. Thank you. This is Lagos. As you may know, the AFCFTA agreement was put to operation on 1st January 2021. And currently, almost all the countries in Africa have deposited their instruments of ratification to the African Union. The trade treaty marks the biggest free trade globally in terms of the number of participating countries since the formation of the World Trade Organization in January 1995. The trade agreement was born out of the need to deepen economic integration in Africa, considering the low level of intra-regional trade volume with other continents like America, Europe, and Asia. No doubt AFCFTA has the potential to accelerate the social economic development of the African continent. We are of the firm belief that a well-implemented AFCFTA will stimulate economic growth through linkage opportunities in trade, commerce, industry, to generate job opportunities and help to facilitate the economic diversification of African economies. Estimations by United Nations Economic Commission, UNECA, revealed that AFCFTA can expand Africans' manufacturing output to $930 billion US dollars by the year 2025 from the current 500 billion US dollars as far back as 2019. The Brookings Institution sees Africa's economic size rising to 6.7 trillion US dollars by the year 2030 from 3.4 billion US dollars in 2019 on the back of a well-implemented AFCFTA. All these figures are subject to implementing that agreement very, very properly and very, very ably. If you don't do that, they will just be figures of aspiration and not a figure to be realized. Therefore, we must do our best to ensure that this agreement is well done. While the takeoff of AFCFTA should be lauded, much work remains undone, as critical parts of the agreement are yet to be finalized. Several key issues, including schedules of tariff concessions, schedules of service commitment, rules of origin, investment, competition policy, and intellectual property rights have not been concluded. The agreement is confirmed to be a super catalyst for boosting intra-African trade, but some critical issues must be resolved. Recently, the Guided Trade Initiative, GTI, was launched in Accra, Ghana, seeking to allow commercially meaningful trading and test the operational, institutional, legal, and trade policy environment under the AFCFTA. The 8 countries participating in the GTI are Cameroon, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Mauritius, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Tunisia, and represent 5 regions of Africa, according to reports from the AFCFTA Secretariat. At least 96 products will be traded annually to expand the list of countries. This, to me, is highly commendable and should be expanded gradually to cover the continent as soon as possible. We are also excited that intracontinental trade and investment is being facilitated rapidly to boost trade with the elimination of Africa's financial borders through the launch of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, PAPSS. This will release the continent from over-dependence on forex and external players and factors. This year's African Day celebration seeks to stimulate conversations and connect stakeholders from all member countries towards making the AFCFTA a total success. It is my pleasure to inform you that some of the leading institutions in the continent have continued to support the African Hall Initiative, and they are well represented in this year's trade fair. We also received commitments from investment and trade promotion agencies of some African countries. I am happy to inform you that businesses and organizations from other African countries are exhibiting at this year's fair. Can we please clap for all these countries? Thank you. Trade efforts is what we're doing to make the African Hall Initiative a real success. It's a constant feature and strategic component of this fair for this year. And going forward, the Lagos Chamber will continue to encourage realizing this agreement by putting this hall together and other things that we have to do. Let me say why we are doing this. SCCI is the oldest chamber in West Africa. Thank you. The chamber was founded in the year 1888. We are 134 years old this year. If we don't take leadership of this agreement for Africa, we wonder who else will take it. That's why we are very committed to ensure that we do all we can. This is just one of them. We're doing many other things behind to ensure that the agreement becomes a reality so that Africa can trade with themselves. Africans can trade with themselves as against trading only with other countries outside Africa. If we don't encourage ourselves, who will encourage us? Therefore, I want to appeal to our friends from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from Cote d'Ivoire, Rwanda, and others, Sudan, who are here present, and all others, that let's work together to actualize the dream of this agreement, to put Africa together as a bloc, as a continent for business, so that together we can be a stronger continent, we can be stronger Africans, we can be stronger people. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Please, let's put our hands together again for the President LCCI. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize for a grave error of mine. And I want to request that we all stand up again. There are two national anthems that have been omitted. Please, this is no slight. It was a grave omission on my side. The anthems of Cameroon and Rwanda.
Rwanda nziza gihugu cyacu, uje imisozi ibiyaga n'ibirunga, ngo byiduhetse nahoranisha. Reka tukurate tukuvuge ibigwi, wowe tubumbiye hamwe twese abanyarwanda uko watubyaye. Berwa sugira singizwa iteka, horana Imana murage mwiza, ibyo tugukesha ntibishyikirwa. Umuco dusangiye uraturanga, ururimi rwacu rukaduhuza, ubwenge umutima amaboko yacu ntibigukungahaze bikwiye, n'ugutera imbere ubutitsa. Abakurambere b'intwari bitanze batizigama, baraguhanga uva mu bukombe, utsinda ubukoloni n'amatsi ibihugu byayogoje Afurika yose, none uraganje mu bwigenge, tukomeye kuko turi twese. umeze imihigo Rwanda dukunda tuhagurukiye kukwitangira w'amahoro asabe mu bagutuye wishyire wizane muri byose urangwe n'ishyakutera imbere uhamye umubano n'amahanga yose maze ijambo ryawe riguhe ijambo
God bless Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope the drama is ready. But before they come on, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the pupils of legacy schools, Okeani, Lagos Island. Please let us put our hands together for them. Pupils of legacy schools, you're welcome. We have the students of Onitolo Community Senior High School, Surulere. You're welcome. We have a short breather through a demo presentation. But if they are not ready, are you ready? Okay, let me invite the keynote speaker for today to set the business session rolling. He is the president of the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and is represented, that is Professor Benedict Oke Orama, represented today by Mr. Eric Mondu Eton. He is the Regional Chief Operating Officer and Head of Mission for Anglophone West Africa. Should I add that he's a proud Cameroonian?
A very good morning to all of you. Please allow me to recognize the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Chinyere Almona. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Argentina to Nigeria, Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Ghana to Nigeria, distinguished members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the President and Chairman of the Board of Directors, Professor Benedict Oke Orama, it is with unfeigned gratitude and almost humility I present this keynote address on the Africa Special Day of the 2022 Lagos International Trade Fair. Professor Orama would have loved to be here in person, but he is leading Afreximbank's active participation in the ongoing Conference of the Parties, dubbed COP27, holding during the same period in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. He sends his best regards and wishes for success of the trade fair. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Lagos International Trade Fair has a long history dating back in 1981, and I must thank the organizers, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for keeping this event alive since 1986, when the Chamber eventually took over the organization of the fair. A very big congratulations and well done for yet another successful 2022 edition. Despite the ravaging impact of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Trade fairs and expos are key events for promoting trade, as they bring buyers and sellers, exporters and importers, investors, and all stakeholders to develop trade and business relationships that drive among themselves. This is even more relevant today in the context of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, the AFCFTA, under which trading commenced in January 2021, despite the COVID-induced delays. Intra-African trade under the AFCFTA is considered a key driver for African economic emancipation. And under the AU Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. With 54 African countries having signed the agreement and over 44 countries having ratified the agreement, the AFCFTA is the biggest continental free trade area in the world that will bring down 84,000 kilometers of borders that fragment the continent into a single market with a population of 1.2 billion people and a combined GDP of 3.5 trillion US dollars. This means that a manufacturer in Lagos today will have to produce not just for the over 280 million Nigerians, but for the 1.3 billion Africans. And we have to scale up production even more to be able to export outside the continent. The implementation of the AFCFTA can only be successful on the building blocks of events like the Lagos International Trade Fair, which brings together African entrepreneurs from various African countries to showcase what each country can produce and how countries can complement each other to promote value-added exports and share of Africa's trade in the world, which unfortunately stands at a paltry 3% compared to global trade. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to promote inter-African trade, which today stands at about 18%, according to the AFCFTA Secretariat, when compared to over 60% for the intra-European trade and over 70% for the intra-Asian trade, the negotiations for the implementation of the AFCFTA have been split into two. Phase 1, which comprises the trade in goods, trade in services, rules and procedures on the settlement of dispute. These are being finalized for tariffs lines to be liberalized over 5 years for the 21 non-least developed African countries and over 10 years for the 33 least developed African countries. Phase 2 constitute negotiations, and these negotiations are ongoing and will cover investment, competition, and intellectual property. From the foregoing, you will agree with me that the drive for intra-African trade and Africa's economic emancipation require more than just a political will. We have to be deliberate and intentional. Our intentions must be translated into concrete actions, which is exactly why the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry has sustained the organization of the Lagos International Trade Fair over the years. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to highlight some of the trade facilitation initiatives being pursued by Afreximbank under the leadership of Professor Benedict Oroma, dubbed the Africa Trade Gateway. Number 1, the Mansa KYC platform is an African-wide Know Your Customer and Customer Due Diligence platform which allows African entities, corporates, financial institutions, SMEs, state-owned entities, and parastatals to provide their KYC, CDD information on a single platform based on best international standards to change the negative perception on African entities, reduce KYC, CDD, AML costs, and of course attract investment into the continent. Each entity is assigned a unique Mansa ID which will enable that entity to make payments on the PAPS platform. Two, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, PAPS, which enable intra-African trade payments to be made in the 42 African currencies. For example, an importer in Nigeria will pay in Naira for goods from Kenya, and the exporter in Kenya will receive Kenyan shillings, whilst Afreximbank and the central banks of Kenya and Nigeria will provide clearing and settlement. It is estimated that successful implementation of PAPS will save Africa $5 billion annually as payment for intra-African trade will be done in local currencies. PAPS was piloted in the West African Monetary Zone, which comprises Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Gambia, and Guinea. And today, PAPS has 8 central banks and about 50 commercial banks connected to it. Go live is expected in Q1 2023. The Trade Information Portal will provide all trade information for all countries on a single platform, and Trade Regulation Information Portal will make available all trade regulations for all African countries, which has been developed for implementation in 2023. With the Ukraine war, most African countries are struggling to access fertilizers today. Meanwhile, Nigeria is exporting large quantities of the same product under long-term contracts to Brazil, USA, Mexico, and elsewhere at lower price than what Africans pay when imported from outside the continent. Botswana exports large quantity of qualified grass-fed beef to Europe. Meanwhile, Egypt buys the same product from Australia and Brazil at much higher cost what Botswana sells the product for. Ethiopia buys certain kinds of leather for shoemaking from New Zealand at twice the cost that Burundi in the same East Africa sells to the world. Number 4, the Afreximbank Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme will enable the issuance of a single transit guarantee or bond, especially for the 16 landlocked African countries, to enable goods to be moved from Lagos to Accra or Cape Town to Cairo. This is being piloted in the Comesa region for eventual rollout across the entire continent. The AFCFTA adjustment facility will put in place by Afreximbank will enable member countries to generate new revenues that will replace the lost revenues emanating from border removal. Afreximbank has made available USD $1 billion and will attract another $6 billion from other partners. The $2 billion guarantee issued in favor of Johnson & Johnson by Afreximbank, which enabled the importation of 400 million doses of single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccines for African countries through the African Medical Platform under the AVAD, Africa Vaccine Acquisition Trust Initiative of the AU, Africa CDC, and Afreximbank. This concept is being used today to facilitate African trade exchange for the scaled procurement of fertilizers for African countries at affordable prices. 7, Inter-African Trade Fair organized by Afreximbank in partnership with the African Union Commission and the AFCFTA Secretariat. The maiden edition was organized in Cairo, Egypt in December 2018, which 45 countries participated, and the second edition took place in November 2021 in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, with over 46 African countries participating, 1,501 exhibitors, 32,000 attendees, and 42.1 billion in deals concluded. The IATF 2023 will take place in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, during 21 to 27 November 2023, under the theme Connecting African Markets. It is expected to attract more than 1,600 exhibitors, more than 35,000 visitors and conference delegates, and more than 34 billion in trade and investment deals expected to be closed. You can at the roll-up banners on the left and right side. which is giving you more details on the Intra-African Trade Fair expected to happen next year in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. You are all invited. Since its inception in 1993, the African Export-Import Bank has approved over $35 billion in support of Nigerian public and private sector entities. Other activities being pursued by Afrexim Bank include the 500-bed African Medical Center of Excellence under construction in Abuja. And this Medical Center of Excellence is expected to turn Nigeria into a medical tourism hub, as well as the Africa Quality Assurance Center in partnership with Bureau Veritas, which is expected to be launched. The construction is finished and is expected to be launched in December 2022 in Shagamu Exchange in Ogun State, Nigeria. This Africa Quality Assurance Center will allow the testing and certification of agro-processed products to enable them to be exported to other African countries and outside the continent. The Afrexim Bank is the accredited technical partner of the AFCFTA Secretariat, with staff on secondment at the AFCFTA Secretariat, and the board of directors of Afrexim Bank has approved a grant of $6 million for the implementation of the AFCFTA. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I close, please allow me to thank the organizers and sponsors of this event, as well as all those of you who have participated in one way or the other. These are the baby steps that will take Africa into the far distance of economic development. The new that will change Africa is the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. If we are it. For your kind attention, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Itong, when you pronounce Shagamu, I was wondering, you pronounce it like Mrs. Obadina will pronounce it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have my two good friends that have been here since the commencement of the day. Mayen Mabie Akwak is the chairman and co-founder of Nile Fisheries Limited, South Sudan. Please stand up for recognition. Joseph Kwadao is CEO, managing director and co-founder of the fisheries of the Nile Fisheries from South Sudan. You'll still be meeting them later when we are making presentations. But meanwhile, please, sit down. Please, the presenters for Ghana should let us meet at the back as soon as I'm off the stage. Auntie, please, let me tell them. Mr. Dancer and the other person, they should please let us meet at the back. Thank you. As we prepare, let us relax a little. I want to show you in 10 minutes some drama about African trade. It is germane what Mr. Itong said, that when we make our coffee, we export to Argentina, and Argentina comes back. Sorry, sir. Excellency. Thank you very much.
Very long ago, in the 80s, this is at Jeremy's village. The people are complaining about loss of harvest, low sales, and then hunger is battling with the people. Here comes Deronke. Emma Bawakalo.
Ìyá Àyìnlá, èmi ló dé, èmi ló forun. Mo rí i pé òun wá gbélékè náà ló ní wá yẹ̀ ẹ́ wò pé èmi ló dé. Kí ni wọ́n ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìlú wa yìí báyìí? Ṣé èmi ò ní fẹsẹ̀ fẹ́ kó nínú ìlú yìí báyìí? Wo ìyá Àyìnlá láàrin èmi àti ẹ bó bá jẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ èmi lọ.
Wo dákun torí Ọlọ́run. This thing we are facing in this country.
Ìwọ pẹ̀lẹ́ pẹ̀lẹ́ ń bó ti ẹnu tọ́mọ fọ̀ka.
I read the book o.
Pẹ̀lẹ́.
So bó ṣe rí mi, I read the book.
Àwa láwa kàwé.
Ọdún mẹ́jọ àjọmọdé.
Mọ́ ọ̀bọ̀ lókè tọ́rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ti sú èmi o.
Àwọn ohun tá a máa ṣe sí ni.
Kóòtù náà wọlé kọ́ wá bá wa torí ká lè mọ́ ba lọ báyìí gbogbo olù ní ń pariwo.
Ìyálájé.
Sáà mọ̀ bọ̀. Kóòtù náà wọlé.
Káàfin níjó ìyàwòdì kó mọ̀ lè gbádìí yẹn jó.
Ó mọ̀ sàn yẹn fún balẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó kọ́ mi pẹ̀lú.
With this epidemic we are facing in this country,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Ẹ dákun náà ẹ tí a fìyún lẹ̀ ṣe bọ́kọ̀ ló ń balẹ̀ àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì àdá ń bá ìdí kìíní báyìí.
The return we are supposed to be giving to the high chief.
A ní òfin ìbólẹ̀ tó ń fọ yẹn mo gbọ́ jẹ́ kí balẹ̀ èdè ká mọ̀ bá a lọ.
Ìyálájé. Let's know what we are going to do. With this epidemic we are facing in this our country. I don't think God is going to come down from heaven to help us. Ìyálájé.
Mọ̀ pé mi mọ̀ dáadáa. Ń bí mi ò mọ̀ jẹ́ kí n fi kọ́ra mọ́ o. Mọ̀ jẹ́ fi kọ́ra mọ́ o.
The high market that will be going down now.
Elédùà mo gbà mí.
The local market, no more income. The high chief self, nothing in the palace for him again to eat. Karole o. Karole o. Karole.
Ẹ mọ̀ rọra o. Ẹ mọ̀ rọra mọ̀ dàgbàdà yìí o. Ìlú ò rọgbọ o. Ìlú ò rọgbọ o. Ẹ ṣe o. Ó tó ká àgbéra ńlẹ̀ bí tẹ́ fẹ́ jọ wá lójú pa.
Ọ̀tún.
Ó bàbá.
Ìyálọ́jà.
Àìwò mò ń jẹ́ yín o.
Gbogbo ohun tẹ́ ń sọ pátápátá ni mò ń gbọ́ yẹ̀wù mi.
Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ gbélé yìí.
Tí mo bá sì ní wọn ọ̀gbọ́ irọ́ pátápátá mo wá. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ náà tojú sú èmi gan. Torí pé bí ọ̀rọ̀ ìlú yìí ṣe ń lọ kò yé mi mọ́.
Baálẹ̀ onílù ò ní fẹ́ kí ìlú bàjẹ́ níbi tá a dé dúró yìí o. Àlẹ́ bí ń paráàlú. Ebi ń paráàlú kò sí nǹkan kan mọ́ lù yìí. Àwọn èèyàn sì ń sá lọ òkè odò. Sẹ́yìn wá ló dáa kí ìlú mọ̀ bàjẹ́ lójú ẹ̀yìn tẹ̀ dàgbà tó yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ àmọ́ fi kíní ṣe o. Àmọ́ fi kíní ṣe.
I don't know what is going on in this country. As you all know, I'm educated.
So sáàmù pé baálé ògbọ́n kan tó ń sọ. Kọ́ ọ̀bùtà bọ́ sí tiwa ń bí.
Ìyálájé, it will be more better if you can tell your high chief with what you have been facing in this country.
Ìlàrí. Kí ló dé o? Àlejò. Láti bo. Oníkó wọlé wá.
High chief,
kò sí jẹ́ lù wá jòjò tún wọ́ lù wá.
Having at this time. Let them come in. I have to prove it. I'm educated.
àti ẹ̀mọ̀ tó ń jẹ́ balẹ̀ ṣé balẹ̀ lẹ́yìn àbẹ̀wọ̀n àbáwọn kẹjá gbọ́. wọ́n káwé bẹ́ẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ pariwo ká.
It's not easy for me to read. In 8 years ago.
àjòjò òun náà wà dá báyìí. ọ̀rọ̀ lù ìtọ́jú sí mi kájòjò òun náà wọlé ká àbí òun wà ní tẹ́mu ṣe òjòjò bẹ́ẹ̀.
tó bá sì yá tí kì í bá ṣe pé onílùú tí òun fẹ́ kí lù ó tú èmi gan mo ti ń gbèrò pé wọ́n padà fìlú ilẹ̀ sálọ ìlú òkun.
ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ sílẹ̀ ṣèborúkọ yín bàjẹ́ nù. wọ́n sọ pé baálé ẹjọ́ kan báyìí ní ó fi ìlú lé o sá lọ́ngbà tí ìlú fẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí tán.
I see. You see, the people in the market, everybody have been running. People have been panic. Even people have been running here and there to leave our country.
nǹkan tí ń sọ.
èmi náà kàwé rí.
ẹ mọ fọgbọ́n gbé o tẹ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ ṣé stranger àwọn àbí kí ni ń pè sẹ́yìn náà rè balẹ̀ rèé mi kàn balẹ̀ ọkùnrin.
káyọ̀ lè balẹ̀ ẹ̀ka sọ.
láti bó o.
wá láti Èkó láti wá a gbọ́ nípa gbogbo rògbòdìyàn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìlú yìí bí nǹkan ò ṣe lọ déédéé a sì wá torí pé a ti ṣàwọn ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan láǹfààní pẹ̀lú àwọn ìbálòpọ̀ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ bíi UBA Dangote àti MTN.
kí lorúkọ iléeṣẹ́ tẹ̀yìn gangan.
The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Dákun, gbẹ̀dúró ní àyè. Lagos Chamber. Mo ti gbọ́ parẹ́. Balẹ̀. This Lagos Chamber the guy is talking about. You can see our uniform. I know about the company when I went to visit my son in Lagos. Yes. Balẹ̀, I would suggest. Let's listen to this young girl about the Lagos Chamber International. Let's see what he's going to say about it. It's going to help this epidemic in our country.
bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé èmi ò gbọ́ gbogbo fínnífínní tó ń wí dáadáa ṣùgbọ́n tó bá wá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ti jẹ́ pé àwọn wọ̀nyí wọ́n ṣe wá ní àǹfààní nínú ìlú yìí ọ̀tún mo fún ọ ní agbára àti àṣẹ káàkiri gbogbo ìlú níbi tó bá ti rí pé ilẹ̀ tẹ́jú dáadáa gbogbo àwọn tó bá ní wọ́n fẹ́ bá wọn alágbàtẹrù tí ìlú mi yóò fi rójú tí ọkọ̀ ajé wa yóò fi lọ dáadáa mo fún ọ láṣẹ.
Balẹ̀, we have 20 acres near the river. We have 10 acres near the Aishim house.
ọ̀tún
We have enough land.
ọ̀tún àsìkò tó mọ kàkọ́rè ṣebẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ wà lọ́wọ́ àbí ìlú wo túbà yóò tù sẹ́ àmọ̀ ló ń jẹjẹ.
ẹ bá a lóde arábìnrin àlóyá.
balẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sùn ẹ̀ mọ́ fọ́
no.
sí o kọ́mọ́
Ìyálóde.
sí ìgbé dànù wọ́n pè mí.
dákunjá lọ
ilé ìbò òkú.
o mọ̀jọ́ ń jẹ́ lọ́fọ̀ fúdù olè báyìí náà gbé bàbá ńlágbàlá ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lóyá ẹ máa bọ̀ a ní 20 acres ní àyín yẹ bá yẹ.
ha èmi làwọn ènìyàn sìn elédùn àwọn ṣe o ọmọ ṣe o elédùn iṣu mi ló tóbi yànyàn yìí fẹ́ẹ́ elédùn ṣe Lagos Chamber ẹ̀yin ní mo gbóríyìn fún oúnjẹ wa pọ̀ rábùtú làwọn ènìyàn sìn ọtún gàndà tó bí ó ṣe mọ́ lẹ́nu òsì burúkú nìyẹn gbogbo wọn ti jẹ́ mọ́lẹ̀ èmi láyé mi mo wá yẹ kẹ̀sí rúbùtú. Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tù.
Ìyálóde.
Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tù.
Ìyálóde.
Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tù.
ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀.
Ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tù. Rẹ̀kẹ̀mú.
èmi ló ké sí ó ti dá àfíyá jálò àfíyá jàmọ́ ràfí wọ́ gbogbo ara mi tó rí kìkì owó ni we have bank in our country network is moving in our country Ìyálóde owó ń bẹ jẹgẹjẹgẹ mọ́ owó ń bẹ baálé àfídà.
nínú ìlú mi náà ní gbogbo nǹkan mèremère ti pọ̀ yìí lémi náà.
Balẹ̀ Baálẹ̀ o.
Ọ̀tọ̀ àjàgà jígì.
Baálẹ̀. Now you can see I'm educated. Lagos Chamber now help our economic, even our students, even about the academic. Everything is moving fine in our country now. Now, Dangote give us the new building now. We have a network in our village now. Even the country, we have a lot of modern and investment going all around. Bale, inú mi dùn, èmi là níyọ̀ sí, èmi là níyọ̀ sí, báàjẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ rí, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lórí, èmi là. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló Bálẹ̀, ó yẹ wá gbọ́, mo bọ̀, ó pa bàbá rì. Ó pa bàbá rì, Lagos Chamber pa bàbá rì, kílẹ̀ wí. Ó pa bàbá rì, ó pa bàbá rì, Lagos Chamber pa bàbá rì, kílẹ̀ wí. Ọ̀dọ̀ owó bẹ. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for the drama troupe. They went outside the 10 minutes. Number one. Number two, they left their props on the stage. -10 for them. You open your mouth, madam. They should not leave their props on the stage. And they should go within the time. That is part of the training they have. Please let's put our hands together for them again. Now we go to the presentations. And naturally, African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, has opened our eyes to some things, but we want to know more. So I invite Afrexim Bank to talk about products and initiatives and give us further grounding on IATF 2023 activation. Please put your hands together for Afrexim Bank.
With an ambitious mandate to transform Africa's trade and with it the lives of millions of people. It set about its all-important work, creating era-defining projects, mobilizing public and private sectors and innovating at every turn to make Africa better, stronger and more competitive on the international stage. Then in late 2015, our current president took up the mantle, determined to build on the foundation laid by his predecessors to accelerate intra-African trade, power industrialization coast to coast, provide leadership in African trade finance and deliver a financially sound and high-performing bank and ultimately transform Africa's economies. He and his management team responded to the continent's needs, found resolutions through skill, partnership and diplomacy, and stood by African nations in good times and bad. And the consequence, the number of participating nations went from 37 to 51. Afrexim Bank proved itself worthy of Africa's trust by supporting many African economies during the global commodity crisis of 2015 and 2016 and helping African countries deal with the impact of COVID-19 pandemic through its Pandemic Trade Impact Mitigation Facility and other COVID-19 interventions to meet the urgent need for food and medical supplies. Working in collaboration with the Africa CDC, AU Special Envoys and other partners, Afrexim Bank has put in place a facility of $2 billion to support African countries in the procurement of vaccines. Afreximbank became Africa's critical partner in bringing to life the historic African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We founded the biennial Intra-Africa Trade Fair to make the unified continental market a reality, the African Trade Gateway, a digital ecosystem to leapfrog obstacles to intra-African trade, and the Intra-African Trade Champions Initiative to help African corporates win and execute deals worth over $5 billion to lead Africa's transformation. In this same period, we expanded access to trade-related infrastructure, increased support for small and medium-sized enterprises, and in just the last 2 years, the bank has financed new manufacturing capacities worth over $1 billion. Afreximbank is also helping to transform Africa's industrial landscape by financing the development of industrial parks, special economic zones, and the creation of manufacturing capacities, creating an enabling environment for the smooth conduct of intra-Africa trade through the development of Africa Quality Assurance Centers in various regions, and leading the initiative to promote medical tourism within Africa by championing the construction of the Africa Medical Center of Excellence, which would directly impact approximately $20 billion annually in external payments for medical services. Afreximbank today leads the way as Africa's foremost trade finance institution. As at December 2020, we have onboarded 448 African banks, with 128 of them already participating in AFTRAF, Afreximbank's trade facilitation program. Afreximbank's trade finance related disbursements in 2020 hit $10.9 billion, narrowing Africa's trade finance gap by 13%. The lives of Africa's 1.2 billion people are being transformed steadily every day in so many ways, creating millions of jobs through our financing programs and investments in industrial infrastructure such as the Gabon Special Economic Zone mineral port, increasing port volumes from 1.7 metric tons to over 5.4 metric tons, improving medical care in Liberia thanks to Afreximbank's ultra-modern medical facility, and bringing hope to isolated communities in South Sudan through improved access to clean energy. Through these and many more projects, and in pursuit of our continental mission, we did not compromise on financial performance and soundness. From 2015 to 2020, our net income almost tripled from $125 million to $351 million. Total assets and guarantees rose from $7.6 billion to $20.4 billion. The aggregate dividends declared to shareholders was $360 million. And for the first time in 2019 and again in 2020, the bank's revenues exceeded $1 billion. Whatever the future holds, Afreximbank will be ready to rise to the challenge, inspired by its mandate and its renewed commitments from African governments determined to succeed, resolute in our commitment to foster an integrated continent with a strong industrial base serving the world's largest contiguous single market. The journey continues. To discover more, join us on our journey. Visit us at www.afreximbank.com.
Thank you very much for that very, very inspiring video. I'm sure you will be wondering, for those who are hearing about Afreximbank for the first time, that is your bank. It's a bank that was established through treaty. Today we have 52 member countries. Only Somalia and Libya are finalizing discussions to become members of Afreximbank. All African countries are members of Afreximbank. So it is not a bank that is owned by one country, it's owned by the whole continent. We thank partners like Lagos Chambers of Commerce, who've been working with us to organize events like this. The African Export-Import Bank was created in 1993, so next year we're going to be 30 years old. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary with the mandate to promote, facilitate, and finance intra and extra-African trade. In Afreximbank, we define intra-African trade as trade among African countries and trade between Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora. So if Lagos is doing business with all the Lagosians who are based in the United States of Africa or in Europe, that is also understood as intra-African trade. So we'll make the definition broader. The bank is rated BBB by Fitch, recent upgrade from BBB minus, BAA1 by Moody's, A by GCR, and A minus by JCR, a Japanese rating agency. Like I said, it has its headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, with regional offices in Abuja, Nigeria, which I head as head of mission for Anglophone West Africa, covering Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, Cape Verde, and Sao Tome and Principe. We have another regional office in Harare, Zimbabwe, that looks after the southern African countries. We have the regional office in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, that looks after Francophone West Africa. We have another regional office in Kampala, Uganda, for the Eastern African countries. And the newest baby is the Central African Regional Office present in my country, Cameroon, in Yaoundé, for the CEMAC sub-region and the DRC. We have 4 classes of shares. Class A are African states who become members by signing the establishment agreement and ratifying it. And we have Class B made of African entities. So in this class, we have the Dangote. Most of the commercial banks in Nigeria are Class B shareholders. So you will note that classes A and B represent 2 things. They represent the African ownership as well as a good example of public-private partnership. Class A being African states and Class B being African entities from the private sector. Class C comprises international organizations like the China Exim Bank, like India Exim Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Citibank, or Russia Export Center, and other international partners. And Class D, which is listed on the Mauritius Stock Exchange, comprises any other shareholder. The bank operates on the model of 5-year strategic plan, and we are currently implementing our 6th strategic plan, which is dubbed Impact 2026, running from 2022 to 2026. It's dubbed Impact 2026, extending the frontiers. And this is hinged on 4 key pillars. I will highlight very briefly pillar number 1, which is intra-African trade. That's why you saw in the video that Afrexim Bank was very instrumental in the setting up an establishment of the AFCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. So intra-African trade is the arrowhead of our pillar. Today, intra-African trade, as I mentioned in my speech, stands at 18%. It is very low if you compare it to intra-regional trade or intra-Asian trade. So we are looking to promoting, financing, and facilitating trade among African countries and trade between Africa and Africans in the diaspora. That's why intra-African trade is very dear to our heart. It's at the forefront of the bank. The second pillar is industrialization and export development. For us to trade among ourselves, for us to trade under the AFCFTA, we need to be industrialized. We need the goods and services to be produced so that they can be traded. Nigeria produces cocoa, Cameroon produces cocoa. We cannot trade cocoa for cocoa. One country will have to start transforming cocoa into cocoa butter, cocoa cake, or liquor, or chocolate for trade to happen. That is why we need to be industrialized. And you will note that industrialization and export development is closely related to intra-African trade. The third pillar is leadership in trade finance, which is, again, at the core of the mandate of the bank. We work with and through financial institutions. We provide lines of credit facilities to various financial institutions because Afrexim Bank mandate is to complement and support banks in various member countries. We do not compete with banks. We complement what banks do. So, for instance, if a corporate, an SME, approaches Afrexim Bank, we work together with a local bank to provide a financing which the entity will require. And we are aware of the fact that some of the SMEs may not qualify to benefit directly from Afrexim Bank facilities. That is why we extend those loans, those facilities to commercial banks so that they can lend to the smaller SMEs that meet their risk acceptance criteria. In this way, we are partnering and complementing what the commercial banks are doing. The fourth pillar is more internal to Afrexim Bank. For us to be strong, to remain strong as is shown on this sheet, our balance sheet size, which is over 25 billion, our revenues way above 1 billion. For us to remain strong, we need, for us to be able to deliver on the first three pillars, we need to sustain our financial soundness and performance, which is translated into financial sustainability. I've already highlighted where we're headquartered and the regional offices. These slides just tells you where we are located. I've already highlighted also the key pillars. I'm trying to manage time so that we can go very fast in order to keep the attention of the participants. Because when you speak too much like a classroom teacher, at some point people will switch off, they will not listen, they will not take the call message. So I'm trying to be very fast. Now, I will highlight some of the key instruments because this is your bank. A lot of people don't know that you can approach Afrexim Bank for facilities. Now, for you to qualify to benefit directly from the facilities of Afrexim Bank, you need to have a minimum annual turnover of $10 million. We use dollars because we're a multilateral financial institution. That is our reporting currency. We are also accredited by the United Nations and the AU. As a multilateral financial institution, that becomes the reporting currency because dollar is the currency for trade. About 80% to 90% of trade is done in USD. That's why, as a multilateral, we report in US dollars. But we also do local currency facilities. So for you to qualify to benefit directly, that means as an entity, you come to Afrexim Bank, you say you want to apply for a short-term loan or a medium loan, you need to have a minimum annual turnover of $10 million, a minimum balance sheet total of $2 million, and 3-year audited financial statements. Now, what does this mean? It doesn't mean that the small SMEs cannot qualify to benefit from the facility of Afrexim Bank. That's why I highlighted that we work with and through commercial banks. We can, if you don't qualify to benefit directly, you can approach us through your commercial bank, and we will have a financing structure in which we will have your local bank as the main borrower of record, you, the SME, the small and medium-sized enterprise, as the sub-borrower, and Afrexim Bank as the lender, and we'll still be able to support you. We also have specialized SME financing products like factoring and SME programs which are warehoused in our export development department. So we are very mindful that for intra-African trade to grow under the AFCFTA, the key catalysts or the key drivers are small and medium-sized enterprises because they account for at least 70 to 80% of employment across African countries. So let me highlight a few facilities. I will talk about trade finance, plain vanilla trade finance facilities, where a commercial bank can approach Afreximbank for a line of credit. A line of credit is simply a loan or a facility that allows you to do three things. So if a commercial bank approaches me as Afreximbank, I will give them a line of credit. A line of credit can allow them to take the money, so we can disburse cash advances to the commercial banks. We can also confirm their letters of credit and discount them. We can also issue various guarantees. Remember, I highlighted our rating, which makes us an investment grade entity. So we can confirm letters of credit and go ahead to refinance them. That will make available the liquidity to the commercial bank to support other SMEs like yourselves. So line of credit is a key product that we use to support financial institutions. We also extend medium-term loans, medium-term up to 5 years, short-term 1 year, structured trade finance facilities, structured based on the operating cycle of the entity. These can be benefited from by the commercial banks or the corporates. Now, in a bid to promote intra-African trade, we also extend a facility which we call the Global Facility. Let me use the example of Dangote, who is also a key partner. Dangote is a shareholder as well as a customer of Afreximbank. Now, Dangote operates in many African countries, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in Tanzania, in Ghana, and so on. And they want a facility for us to support their activities in various countries. The kind of facility we extend to them is what we call the Global Facility, because you have various subsidiaries of the same entity utilizing various amounts at different tenors depending on the purposes. We also have intra-African trade export financing, which means an entity producing in Nigeria want to be exporting to Sierra Leone or to Ghana. We look at the trade flows. In trade finance, you look at the flow of the documents, the flow of the products, and the flow of the money. So we look at the trade flows. Where are you going to be selling? What do you want to do with the money? And how can we structure it in a way that accounts are put for money to flow in and we'll be able to repay the facility? Because of the exports to Sierra Leone or to Ghana and how the payment mechanism will happen, we'll then be able to look and develop a structure that will meet that financing structure. In Afreximbank, we don't turn down any request because we pride ourselves with a mantra: if it's possible, it will be done. If it's impossible, it can still be done. So the beauty, before I used to work for commercial banks, and now for 9 years I've been in Afreximbank. I've seen the beauty of working for development. Every $1 that we extend goes to transform people's lives. When you come to apply for a facility, be it or a line of credit or a direct loan, part of the things we like to see is what is the developmental impact this facility is going to bring. For instance, if today you employ 50 workers, you will need to confirm to me that when I disburse this loan, you take the money, invest it properly, you're going to employ 100 workers. It's very important for us because we're a developmental financial institution. So the various facilities you see, they'll call it parking credit. Parking credit is just another name for pre-export finance. If you go to markets like India, they call them parking credit because it's a credit facility that is given to you to go and produce the goods, pack them, and sell them. From the word packing, you see that you produce the good in readiness for shipment. It's just a name. I always tell when I'm making this presentation, I said, don't worry yourself about the names. Just come for the facility. We will structure it according to the need of your business, and once the money is given to you, whether it's called parking credit or intra-African trade service support facility or LC and LC refinancing, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the money has been given to you and is going to help you to be able to expand your businesses, employ more people, change Africans' life, contribute to the emancipation of African economy. Let me just quickly rush through the other products which we provide. Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme. Today is very difficult. There are about 16, 17 landlocked African countries. Landlocked countries means countries that don't have a coastal line. They cannot import things directly. So, for instance, if I use an example, Central African Republic, you either import through Cameroon to transship or through Lagos to transship. You transfer, you go to Chad and then start going down, or you go through Cameroon and then go to Central African Republic. It becomes very difficult. Take a very short corridor, trade corridor. Lagos, Benin, Togo, Ghana. It's very short. You issue custom bonds here. You do the administrative documents. You waste time. When you go to Benin, you do the same thing. You go to Togo, you do the same thing. It takes a lot of time. In addition to the bad roads, no rail connection, no railway connection, all the hard infrastructure, soft infrastructure, bureaucracy, delays, challenges on the road. We are saying in partnership with the custom authorities of all the member countries, with the local banks and Afrexim Bank, we can issue one instrument which will allow goods to move from Lagos to Accra, or from Cape Town, which is the lowest part of Africa, down to Cairo at the top, or from Dakar in the east to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, to Dakar in the west to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, which is the east. This will facilitate intra-African trade. It will reduce costs. It will reduce the administrative bottlenecks. That is why the Afrexim Bank Africa Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme is being pursued as one of the soft infrastructure to promote trade under the AFCFTA. We have also country risk guarantee. We have our friend and partner here, our partners from Argentina. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Argentina to Nigeria. And he is not only here to represent the government, he also represents the business community. And an investor from Argentina wants to invest, say, in Nigeria, and sees a lot of risk. He can come to Afrexim Bank to provide a country risk and investment guarantee under this program to be able to support, so that if that entity in Nigeria, in Lagos, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, in South Sudan, in Cameroon, cannot repay, they can come to Afrexim Bank for repayment. This attracts investment into the continent. We also have the facilitate emergence of storage infrastructure. Of course, I always like to talk about this, and just take a step back and reason with me. Today, if you go to developed countries, trade finance is defined as short-term, for those who are familiar with. That means a transaction that will not exceed 1 year. That's what short-term means. Short-term means, when you hear short-term, if you are sleeping, you just get up and say, okay, it will not be more than 1 year. It means short-term, you can go back to sleep. That's how trade finance is defined in the West, in developed nations. And there is a reason. There is a reason to be able to define it that way. Because they have the warehouses, they have the infrastructure, they have the plants. They can just produce and sell. In Africa, do we have the warehouses? Do we have the plants, the manufacturing factories? We don't. That's why our own definition of trade finance in Africa is a bit broader. We define trade finance as short-term, medium-term, because if you want to build a cocoa processing plant, you will import equipment, you will build, you will test, you commission, before the plant will start producing cash flow that will repay the loan. That's why our definition of trade finance is broader. And all this suite of products are available for you to approach Afreximbank either through your commercial bank or directly to Afreximbank. Our office is in Abuja, number 2 Nyasibe Yadema Street, Asokoro, Abuja. I mentioned the 500 Medical Center of Excellence that we are building. We are building a permanent office, which we call Afreximbank Africa Trade Center, AATC, beside the Ministry of Finance, which will comprise 2 buildings of 9 floors. One will be office spaces, and another will be a 4-star hotel. And all regional offices, where we have regional offices in Harare, in Abidjan, in Kampala, in Yaoundé, they will have the same structure to be able to go in, not just borrow money, but also get trade information, also get all the kind of things that we need, enable any investor or any stakeholder to be able to understand the continent very well. I mentioned a lot of things in my speech, which we call the Africa Trade Gateway, the Mansa KYC platform, the PAPS, and all the trade facilitation initiative, along with the trade finance, the actual money that we give out. We think that if we put our forces together, we make use of the products and services of Afreximbank, the programs and facilities, we'll be able to build a continent and move forward to economic emancipation. Let me round up very quickly by allowing my colleague, Ivashni, to quickly tell us about the need to participate in the 2023 Inter-African Trade Fair that will take place in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. We'll try to manage time. She'll go straight to the point and just quickly talk you through. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Good day, all protocol observed. Thank you to the Lagos Chamber of Commerce for hosting us and for allowing me to share the Inter-African Trade Fair with you. My name is Ivashni Naidu, and it's a pleasure to be here at the Lagos International Trade Fair. In order to fully realize Africa's economic potential, inter-African trade must be fostered, and the Inter-African Trade is a multi-sectorial trade fair dedicated to just that, and will be held from the 21st to the 27th of November in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. With the goal of bringing together African buyers, sellers, and investors, Afreximbank initiated the biennial Inter-African Trade Fair in 2018 in collaboration with the African Union and the AFCFTA Secretariat. The 3rd edition of IATF will be held in Abidjan and hosted by the Government of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire. As part of its mission, IATF promotes the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area. For the AFCFTA's goals to be realized, sustainable measures must be taken to close the knowledge gap in the trade and in the market. For this reason, IATF will hold under the theme Connecting African Markets. The IATF is one of the very strong tools used to realize the AFCFTA, which is now in its operational stage. The key objectives are bringing together continental and international players interested in investing in Africa, as well as providing a platform for business opportunity and exploration between buyers and sellers. We facilitate commercial networking and the creation of new prospects between businesses and governments, disseminating data on inter-African trade, investment, and markets to help solve problems and promote growth, and to provide information regarding Afreximbank initiatives, trade finance, and trade facilitation interventions. The IATF is over 7 days, and in 2021, we had over 32,000 visitors that attended the hybrid format of the event. In 2023, we are expecting over 35,000 to attend the event in both the physical and virtual formats. The key verticals of IATF are the Trade and Exhibition, Trade and Investment Forum, IATF Virtual, Country Day, Creative Africa Nexus Program, B2B, B2G exchanges, AU Youth Startup Program, and the Africa Auto Show. The trade exhibition takes place throughout the 7-day event. This is open to all buyers and sellers in Africa. A key area in our exhibition is the vertical of country pavilions, in which not only do African nations, but also international nations take part. Businesses from around the continent that are serious about or actively engaged in inter-African trade are invited to attend by the participating nations. They each have their own pavilion to showcase unique culture and economic activity, and each country offers unique commercial prospects. No other event brings so many nations' commercial interests in one place under one roof. Not limited to country pavilions, we have agency pavilions, NGO pavilions, huge corporate pavilions, as well as SMMEs from all sectors that present their goods and services. IATF facilitates meeting and networking opportunity with influential businesses, consumer, as well as political stakeholders in Africa who are eager to do business and close a deal. In 2018, we had over 1,000 exhibitors. In 2021, over 1,500. And in 2023, we will be bringing together over 1,600 exhibitors. The Buyers Program is a crucial component of the trade exhibition. The 4-day Trade and Investment Conference will focus on the theme Connecting African Markets in recognition of the prospects of inter-African cross-border trade and investments to expand. At every point, attend our Trade and Investment Forum to hear from significant players, invited speakers, and industry peers. At every point, businesses are provided with sound and trusted advice on inter-African trade. We had the privilege and 7 sitting presidents graced the opening ceremony at IATF 2021. The conference is free to attend. All you need to do is register online. CanEx at IATF 2023 will be showcased through a substantial exhibition space, B2B and B2B meeting opportunities, and a comprehensive program for engaging conversation, panel discussion, and live performances, with a 2-day CanEx Summit. To be part of the CanEx Pavilion, book your stand today. Sponsors and partners, there's also a huge opportunity for you to take part in this vertical. To participate sooner, you can also be part of the CanEx weekend taking place this year from the 25th to the 27th of November. Visit CanEx weekend website to register. Countries have been invited to bid for the Country Day feature. Selected countries will have dedicated opportunity to showcase their trade and investment and cultural and tourism opportunities. The Africa Auto Show will present a platform for car manufacturers, assemblers, original equipment manufacturers, and component suppliers to exhibit their products and interact with potential buyers, suppliers, and government. The Africa Auto Show has 3 components: the dedicated exhibition, an automotive forum, and a B2B platform. The AU Youth Startup Program will provide a platform for African youth startups and SMMEs to get support through capacity. I will skip through the IATF virtual, which you can visit on our website. Don't miss out on the chance to contribute to the discussions as we promote inter-African trade. We strongly suggest that you take advantage of this offer. If you have any questions, please contact us directly. We are happy to provide you with relevant information on how to secure your participation. As the Nigerian President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, stated in the last event, quote, under the African Continental Free Trade Area, we can double our inter-African trade by 2030, reduce our reliance on imports, and therefore create more jobs within the continent. We cannot achieve this goal by talking alone. The implementation will be a difficult journey, but all challenges are surmountable if both public and private sectors collaborate, end quote. I encourage you to participate at IATF. Please visit our website and register today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. We apologize for to hurry you up. I guess Afro Exit Bank has taken better part of the time today. Please put your hands together for them. We want to acknowledge the presence of a past president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, a former member of the National Executive Council, Chief Dr. Mrs. Onikepo Akonde, C.O.N. Now we'll quickly move to the country presentations, and South Sudan will start. My brothers have a flight to catch in the next 1 hour, so I'm even happy that they were able to wait till this time. Please, let's welcome the founder, co-founder, and chairman of Nice Fishes Limited, in the person of Marian Akwak.
The president of the LCCI, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Argentina, the Chief Operating Officer for African Export and Import, Mr. Eric, all the protocol observed. Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Quair from South Sudan. I'm a co-founder for Nile Sud Fisheries in South Sudan. My co-founder, Mr. Mayen, I think I've just stepped out. We came from South Sudan to participate in the trade fair, just to showcase the product that we have in South Sudan. It is my distinguished honor this afternoon to present to you about our company and also to present to you about the opportunities for investment in South Sudan. I know the name South Sudan, when most of people here, they look at a lot of problems. They only see problems, war, conflict, and so many things. But we want to change the narrative. South Sudan, at the moment, is a country that is coming up peacefully, and it has wide varieties of investment opportunities. Because of time, I will run through about our company, and then I will also take you through about the opportunities in South Sudan. This company is called Nile Sud Fisheries Limited. It was incorporated in South Sudan. This company has been helping most of the young South Sudanese to do fishing. When you look at South Sudan, we have the longest river in the world called River Nile. River Nile cut through the entire country up to Egypt. It also creates the biggest swamp in the world, so which we call the Nile Sud. So the Nile Sud has the varieties of fish, and this is what we are bringing it here today. With the spirit of African trade or intra-African trade, and also with the spirit of Africa Continental Trade-Free Agreement, we want to bring our product to the other part of the country that we believe they don't have the special type of fish that we are bringing here today. When I did my research, I saw Nigeria consume a lot of fish. 40% of the fish come from Europe and China. So, and I believe if I can bring the organic fish from our Nile to Nigeria, I think with the population in Nigeria, it can be a good business. And this is why we came today here. Our business, we do supplying of organic produced fish, and we provide technical advisory services to fish producers and supplying farms input and also other general trading activities. This is the mission and the vision of our company. We want to be a global leader in supply of quality fish in Africa and the world. Our mission is to create supply chain that emphasize ethics, sustainability, efficiency, innovation to create a food secure world. I, with my co-founder, as we are speaking now, we have employed indirectly over 200,000 young people going to catch fish in the river because we have created the market for them. At the moment, we supply fish to DRC Congo and also Congo Brazzaville and the northern part of Uganda. So, and we are extending it here to Nigeria, and we are also hoping to go to Ghana and the other part of these West African countries so that we can create more of that fish. So our core values, we believe in integrity, innovation, fairness, inclusivity, and collaboration in business. And this is why we are here today, meeting a number of you so that we collaborate. We are looking for distributors here so that we can ship the fish to them and then they distribute in the market. It will create a job to other local Nigerian business people. And I think this is the partnership and the trade agreement that we want in Africa. When you look at this fish that we have there, I believe most of you have come to our stand. And some of the people were wondering what type of fish is this? And this is the uniqueness of fish that we have in River Nile. We have varieties, one being tilapia, and we have a special fish called Nile fish that we don't have here. So it's only in River Nile. And it's very, very good fish with a special taste. So I believe the day we bring this product to this market, I think it will create wonders here. Because the fish that I've seen being consumed here, those are frozen ones, brought all the way from Europe. And some of the other fish that are reared in the farm, but this one is organic, so special. So when you look at the test, or you test it, it's so special. And I invite all of you to come and see it by yourself at our stand. later after the presentation. These are the young men that I was telling you. When you look at these people, they are quite in number. We aggregate the fish from them, and then we supply. Thank you. So, and then we supply. So, yeah, that was about our company and what we do. And I believe in the next trade fair, we will come here and I will make sure we come with our government official, especially Minister of Investment and Commerce and the members of Chamber of Commerce so that they can open up to our business people and also participate in this trade fair. Just 1 minute. Okay. So the opportunities in South Sudan, I will be very, very fast because of time. In South Sudan, we know it's a country that gained independence in 2011. It has been going through a number of wars. So, but at the moment, we have a stability. When you look at country South Sudan, it's one of the biggest countries. So in East Africa, in terms of land size, agriculture and agribusiness is one of the major opportunities for business people who want to do investment. When you look at the country, we have over 28 million hectares of arable land that are available for farming. And this is averaging. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I have consumed my time, but let me just mention those few things. Then. Okay. So those are the investment opportunities that you can see in South Sudan, and maybe I will share with the commerce so that they can also share with the wider group. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Yes, Mayor was supposed to come. Joseph came. He's the co-founder and the CEO. Please, other country presenters, don't forget that you are allotted 5 minutes. You are allotted 5 minutes. We are pressed for time. So next, we call on Ghana. Auntie Gifty, please move, come forward. The Consul General of the Consulate of Ghana High Commission in Lagos. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Michael Olawede Cole, C-O-N. All protocol observed due to lack of time. Let me express sincere gratitude to the President and members of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to make this brief presentation on investment opportunities at this year's Lagos International Trade Fair. On behalf of all the participants from Ghana, I would like to express my gratitude to the government of Lagos State for providing an enabling business environment in this state. I also appreciate the efforts of the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry for organizing this trade fair. Like the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Ghana High Commission in Abuja and the Consulate General in Lagos seek to promote trade, stimulate production and consumption, further integrate Ghana into the world economy, and most especially, increase trade between Ghana and Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a truism that Ghana was the first country south of the Sahara to gain political independence in 1957. Its strategic location is central to the success of SAP regional and international trade, giving it easy access to SAP regional markets. The country has excellent sea and air connections with daily flights from Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Americas. And it is the closest landmark to the center of the world at the intersection of the equator and the Greenwich Meridian. Over the past 3 decades, Ghana has been pursuing a liberalized trade and investment regime, and it is positioning herself to take full advantage of both regional and sub-regional opportunities to attract investment into the country, to harness the benefits from the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the other export markets. Ghana's wealth of resources, democratic political systems, and dynamic economy make it undoubtedly one of Africa's leading lights, gaining the world's confidence with a peaceful political transition and a grounded and firm commitment to democracy has helped in expediting Ghana's growth in foreign direct investment in recent years. The industrial transformation agenda is being pursued to attract more investment into the industrial sector, to produce more manufactured products for domestic and export markets. As a result, enormous investment opportunities exist in agriculture and agro-processing, financial services, education, energy, oil refinery and gas, health, mining and mineral processing, and jewelry, ICT, tourism, industrial and residential estate property development, manufacturing and transport infrastructure. The government of Ghana is committed to implementing policies that reduce the general cost of doing business to promote investor confidence in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is common knowledge that Nigerian companies and individuals have significantly invested in the various sectors of the Ghanaian economy. I believe our businessmen and women here can speak to that. However, these huge investments seem to be overshadowed by the perennial tension between Ghana and Nigerian traders in Ghana, which forms a very insignificant portion of business between the two countries. I'm happy to note that the government of the two countries continue to engage in finding amicable settlement to that issue. Indeed, the Honorable Minister of Trade of Ghana and Nigeria last year signed a joint agreement that establishes a framework to guide the engagement between the two countries in resolving the issue between Ghana retail traders and their counterparts from Nigeria. I can assure you that the government of the Republic of Ghana is committed to the timely implementation of the framework of engagement between Ghana and Nigerian traders. Ladies and gentlemen, this spectacular event plays a vital role in promoting foreign investment into Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, which goes with the theme for this year's trade fair in Lagos, boosting intra-African trade, institutions, finances, and technology. I believe that all of us gathering here are key players for sustainable and industrial development in Nigeria and Africa. Africa is now the world's largest trade area since the formation of the World Trade Organization. A market of over 1.2 billion people and a combined GDP of $3 trillion offers a huge opportunity to exploit our great continent's abundant wealth and resources for the benefit of our people, Ghana and Nigeria. the two largest economies in West Africa, enjoying a long-standing social, cultural, and economic relationship, have the potential and the resources to take advantage of the opportunities that come with establishing AFTA to creating jobs and improving livelihoods of the peoples. This trade fair, therefore, seeks to create an adequate avenue for countries to work together in harnessing the opportunities that AFTA brings, especially with the siting of the Secretariat in Ghana, Accra. In this regard, let me once again express the government of the Republic of Ghana's avowed readiness to cooperate, collaborate, work closely with the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the sustainable development of the economies of the two countries. We at the High Commission in Abuja and the Consulate in Lagos are always ready to serve as a bridge for Ghana-Nigeria friendly relations, paving the way for cooperation between the business community from our two countries. Our doors are widely open for business, and it is my great pleasure to invite you to take full advantage of the forum to seek information that will help in your investment decision towards Ghana. I thank you all for listening. God bless us.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Samantha Gifty, the Consul General of Ghana Consulate in Lagos. Please put your hands together for her again. I'll plead again. Country representatives, 5 minutes, please. Kindly help me. Next, we call on the representative of Rwanda. Rwanda. Please put your hands together for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Excellencies present, all protocols observed. It is my pleasure to extend the sincere regret from His Excellency Ambassador Stanislas Kamanzi, who has not been able to be with us at the Africa Special Day, and he has delegated me to stand in for him. My name is Aviani Rubagumia. I'm the second counselor from Rwanda High Commission to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will be a challenge to me. I intended to use the 10 minutes, but we've seen our predecessors have exhausted, so I'll leave my presentation for the investment opportunities to the video presentation. But before I can take you through a profile of our exhibitors, we have a range of exhibitors. Rwanda is marking her second year to attend the Lagos International Trade Fair. And with the good established relationship with the chamber, I was getting feedback from my colleague who leads the delegation from Rwanda. She was telling me trade is coming up based on the numbers. The range of our exhibitors, I will not list them by names, but I will just say the clusters, the into agro-processing. We have air services, Rwandair. We have agencies like Rwanda Convention Bureau, which is mandated by promoting Rwanda maize as a tourism destination. And then we have also the tourism, the sports tourism under the golf course that has been here also to meet with a number of stakeholders. So with that few remarks, I would ask my colleagues from the cabin to display or to play the investment opportunities in Rwanda to save time. Thank you.
Rwanda is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, with inclusive and sustained high growth over the last 10 years. This has been driven by a well-articulated and ambitious development agenda, which has resulted in high economic growth averaging 7.8% per year, recognition by the UN as the most improved nation globally in human development, and recognition as one of the safest countries globally. Rwanda today is now a leading destination for investment in the region, offering one of the most safe and stable political, economic, and financial environments in Africa. Rwanda has adopted an open policy towards foreign investment and has invested in modern connectivity and world-class infrastructure to enhance trade and investment. Rwanda offers access to global and regional markets through a robust network of free trade agreements. Proximity markets give investors easy access to over 80 million people. Rwanda offers an attractive incentives framework for investments across several priority sectors, alongside a competitive tax framework ranging from tax holidays to capital gains exemptions. Rwanda is also one of the most innovation-ready economies on the continent and is well positioned to become a leading innovation hub. It has established itself as a vibrant proof-of-concept destination, attracting innovators seeking to develop, test, and scale their business models in Rwanda for the globe. Several investment and partnership opportunities are available across several sectors, including ICT, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing of construction materials, glass manufacturing utilizing high-quality raw materials, light manufacturing, particularly garments and light construction materials. Mining also presents several opportunities, including exploration, refineries, separation plants, as well as cutting and polishing gemstones from Rwanda and the region. Rwanda's fast-growing health sector also presents several investment opportunities across services and manufacturing. The sector has also received a boost with plans proceeding for the first vaccine manufacturing plant in Africa in partnership with BioNTech. A dedicated investment team from the Rwanda Development Board will ensure your venture into Rwanda and beyond is efficient, seamless, and positioned for success.
Thank you so much. As I conclude, on behalf of His Excellency Ambassador Stanislas Kamanzi, I would wish to congratulate the Lagos Chamber of Commerce Industry for the successful 22 edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, and I extend my sincere wish for its good continuation. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Vianney. Very, very grateful. I'd like to call on the Deputy Minister, Trade and Investments of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Madam Isata Abdullahi Kamara.
Mr. Chairman, President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, my Nigeria people, and my African fellows who participated in this LCCI, I want to greet you all. It's a pleasure to be here. I think what we have learned as a small country, a population of 8 million, less than 8 million people, we have come to learn. We've seen, we are here to learn. This is our first time to be here. And I am sure whatever lessons we've seen, we are going to make use of in the near future. But as a small country, I'm so proud of what I've seen Rwanda did. Because Rwanda and Sierra Leone are at the war at the same time, but they've tripled their development. We are now going slowly and catching up with the rest of the world. Sierra Leone is a small country, but I'm proud to tell you that what we have in Sierra Leone is so much that we need people, we need investors to be there to see and choose among these many things we have available and you can make use of. We do have the diamonds, which is being termed as the blood diamond, but we are changing that narrative. That blood diamond is no more blood diamond, but something that is going to help us in terms of helping our fellow Sierra Leoneans. That's the reason also our flagship program for our president is that he has laid emphasis on education. We are spending 20% of our GDP just on education because that is the leap for any nation to grow. We are having our children from primary, secondary school, free education. And for the girl child, because we are so enclosed with what we're doing, we want our women to grow. So every girl child that is doing STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you are also given the opportunity to have your free education at the tertiary level. As of recent, as I'm standing here, few days ago, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone laid a motion at the General Assembly, and that resolution is now part of the UN, wherein we are talking about the girl child. Things are happening, wars have gone on. But what happened with the girl child who is being abused, who is being raped, who is the self-esteem of the girl child is nowhere to be seen. So with that, November 18 has been agreed by the General Assembly that it is going to be the day for the rape victim, for the girl child that is being abused. I think Sierra Leone has made the roadmap for the rest of Africa, and the rest of Africa should follow on that. A small country, I think we've got now, this is the 4th time we are having the MCC, that is the Millennium Challenge, the Compact Challenge based by the United States. This is the first time we are having 90% score on corruption, because corruption is what is killing Africa. A country that is corrupt-free is likely to grow 3 times more than the country that is corruptful. So we are laying emphasis on corruption. Because of that, we've now gathered something that we call the sectorial change, which is based on how we improve on our agriculture. As of now, as I'm telling you, we are exporting vegetable oil to some of the West African countries, Senegal, Ivory Coast, I think they are also having, and then Guinea-Conakry. We are giving them the vegetable oil because we have a lot of palm oil, which is now converted to the vegetable oil. We are no more importing groundnut oil from anywhere. In those days, we are using more than 100 million just on vegetable oil, because you can see my body, we are not those fat people. So we need calories to make us fat. So that's the reason why we are importing no more. Another thing is that we are also trying to build on the infrastructures. In terms of, we are having a very good new airport. I think that is one of the things that was making us look too small. But we are having a new airport that can help us to have these bigger planes to be coming, and those investors that are interested in Sierra Leone to have their way to Sierra Leone. Come to Sierra Leone. There is so much you can find in Sierra Leone. In terms of natural resources, we do have them. We don't have the land mass, but the land that we have is very good. You can grow anything there. The only thing we need is Afrexim Bank. Please, as you've started coming to Sierra Leone, implement what you have implemented in Nigeria. I think Sierra Leone needs it more. Nigeria is our big brother. Try to allow the smaller countries to grow so that we can catch up with the Nigeria people and the bigger countries. We have what we call the chili oil. It is only in Sierra Leone that you can find the chili oil. That chili coconut oil has everything. It is ready to eat. You are importing olive oil. Olive is not grown in Africa, but the coconut is grown most part of Africa. And that coconut oil, we have infused it in such a way that it is edible, it is ready to eat. You want to eat it, you can use it in your vinaigrettes and whatsoever. They are readily available. The gari that we are making, I know Nigeria is making gari, but this is what we say, gari see gari, gari run away. Come and see our own gari. Come and have a taste of our own gari, and you can see the difference it makes. Cashew is is something that is now attracting the world. We have got the market now. We have got the gari trees the cashew trees are all over now Sierra Leone. It's going to be our 3rd cash crop within the country after cocoa and coffee. I think gari is now, cashew is now another thing that we want to explore. We want to see how best we can do that. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone and on behalf of my president, I want to say a very big thank you to the Lagos Chambers of Commerce for this trade fair and the platform that you've given us as Sierra Leoneans to partake in this. Next year is going to be something different, I assure you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Madam Ishata Abdullahi Kamara, Deputy Minister, Trade and Investments, Sierra Leone. Hello. Hello. She na the Gary see Gary run. Na him surprise you. Abi say she speak pidgin. If na pidgin, the origin of pidgin na Sierra Leone. The origin of pidgin na Sierra Leone, in case you don't know. Madam, he said you have small bodies in Sierra Leone, but the Consul General is not looking small. Thank you very much. Last but by no means the least, Côte d'Ivoire. Representative of Côte d'Ivoire. Representative of Côte d'Ivoire. Well, when they come later, we are likely to take them. For now, please come with me to Osogbo, the capital of Osun State, in the heartland of Yoruba people, southwest Nigeria, as we present Adire Osogbo. They paid for it, ma. Adire Osogbo in 10 minutes. Thank you. Hello, your 10 minutes is starting now. Your 10 minutes is starting now.
Òṣogbo ìlú aró. Òṣogbo is the abridged biography of indigo. No indigo, no Òṣogbo. Osun is no longer smiling amid the invasion of gold diggers assailing our banks with the most wicked affront. Is no longer smiling amid the invasion of gold diggers assailing our banks with the most wicked affront of an effrontery. A pot of living indigo is now turned to a dying pot of death. What a double tragedy! Bedeviling Osogbo, the Cinderella. Without a whole magic moment of blue blood royalty, our old pots are broken again. Time is now to bring back. So this leaf, what's the name of the leaf?
Okay, thank you. In Yoruba language, we call this leaf a weelu.
All right, sir.
So that is what we heard from our mothers in olden days. So they call it a weelu. Although there's an English name for it, but you know that should be a botanical name. So, but it's a leaf, and we call it elu leaf. So a weelu. So, and in Adire, we are talking about the traditional Adire, the local one. Yes. And the process actually started from sourcing for the leaf, which is a weed. Then we'll take it to the workshop and pound it.
More old school music at oldnightjock.com.
Tí ń gbénú mi ìyá mi ẹ̀wùjí alágbolódò ni mò ń ké sí lọ́wọ́ àgọ́ onílé ṣé ká wọlé o àgọ́ àlejò ṣé ká máa bọ̀ ìyá ń bọ̀ o àgọ́ lọ́nà oore yèyé máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀ṣun máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀làdé kojú àgọ́ lọ́nà oore yèyé máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ìyá mi máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ládé kojú ẹ̀gọ́ra tí ń gbénú omi ẹ̀wùjí alágbolódò ni mò ń ké sí lọ́wọ́ akúrẹ́rẹ́ bí ẹni sùn ọba àbí ni o akúrẹ́rẹ́ bí ẹ̀sùn ọba òde ìjẹsà tó kúrò àlú olóbì ìbàjẹ́ fọ́ra wọn di alọ́mú ìdẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀wùjí ìdẹ lẹ́sẹ̀ yé mi ládé kojú ẹ̀bọ̀ra tí ń gbénú omi àgọ́ lọ́nà oore yèyé máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀ṣun máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀ṣun oníkì ìyámáwó mọ́rọ̀ ni mò ń ké sí lọ́wọ́ o yóò ní ṣe bẹ́yìn níyà ọ̀la ọ̀ṣun mọ́ fi talẹ̀ jẹ́mi ọ̀làdé kojú ọ̀sẹ̀ǹgẹ̀sẹ̀ dákun mọ́pọ̀ mi dà sínú mi ọ̀làdé kojú àgọ́ lọ́nà oore yèyé máa ń bọ̀ o àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀ṣun máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ọ̀làdé kojú máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà ìdẹ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀wùjú ìdẹ lẹ́sẹ̀ èmi ládé kojú ẹ̀bọ̀ra tí ń gbénú omi ládé kojú ọ̀sẹ̀ǹgẹ̀sẹ̀ ń ó sì mọ̀ kí èmi ọ̀ṣun oníkì í dá mi lóhùn wọn ni kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún àgọ́ lọ́nà oore yèyé máa ń bọ̀ àgọ́ lọ́nà àní omi ò lápá omi gbégi omi ò lẹ́sẹ̀ omi gbèyàn lọ ìfòòró ayé mi omi gbé lọ omi ò lápá omi gbégi omi ò lẹ́sẹ̀ omi gbèyàn lọ ìfòòró ayé mi omi gbé lọ ìdààmú ayé mi omi gbé lọ àgbàná ayé mi omi gbé lọ ìfòòró ayé mi omi gbé lọ gbogbo àbíkú ayé mi omi gbé lọ oore yéyé ọ̀ṣun o oore yéyé ìyá o oore yéyé ọ̀ṣun ìyá mi oore yéyé ìyá o oore yéyé ọ̀ṣun o oore yéyé ìyá o oore yéyé. Oore yèyé ìyá o. Ọ̀ṣun oníkì ìyámáwó mọ́rọ̀ lè mí ké sí yóò ní ṣe báwọn nìyá ọ̀la. Ẹ pé yèyé Ọ̀ṣun, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun o, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹ mọ̀mọ́ bá mi kórè yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Yèyé Ọ̀ṣun, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun o, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹ mọ̀ bá mi kórè yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹ pé yèyé Ọ̀ṣun, ìyá Ọ̀ṣun o, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ọládé kojú mi yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ìyá mi yèyé Ọ̀ṣun o, yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹ bá mi kórè yèyé Ọ̀ṣun. Ìyá mi labí mọ́mọ́ dáná lé Ọ̀ṣun là ń fẹ́ yìí kí. Labí mọ́mọ́ dáná lé Ọ̀ṣun là ń fẹ́ yìí kí. Ládé kojú abí mọ́mọ́ dáná lé Ọ̀ṣun là ń fẹ́ yìí kí. Oore yèyé abí mọ́mọ́ dáná lé Ọ̀ṣun là ń fẹ́ yìí kí. Ládé kojú abí.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having us today. We are the team from Adire Oshogbo by Morakiyo. We're actually situated in the Osun State. And what we do is majorly to produce Adire, the local one from Oshogbo. Our booth is at All One, stand 001. So we'll be glad if our president will also visit us at our stand. And we'll be very glad to have you to see our product for the purpose of our colleagues and the friends from African country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The next three speakers are going to have 5 minutes each. Please, I'm going to be very strict on time. From Pan-African Payment Settlement System, you recall that the president talked about that. We have Mr. Osita Nima Ogu from Afrexim Bank to talk about PAPS. Okay. Mr. Ali Suleiman from Dangote Group is the Group Corporate Strategy Officer, Mr. Ali Suleiman. Please put your hands together for Mr. Suleiman. Please, Mrs. Fola Shadia Luko, the Senior Manager, Business Development of Nexim Bank, should be on standby.
Good afternoon. So, I've been asked to speak about manufacturing in Africa, especially drawing on the experience of Dangote. As you know, Dangote is active in about 10 countries in Africa, and we have projects in about 5 additional countries. 10 countries, about 5 of them export to neighboring countries. So we are participants in the intra-Africa trade that we have been talking about. In terms of opportunity to improve Pan-Africa trade, I think we have to start right from the beginning by looking at production. Nigeria, for example, exports mainly crude oil. So about 90% of our export is oil and gas. Given that, you'll see that the opportunity for us to hit the 60% intra-Africa trade level that exists in Asia is a tall ask. So the very first thing we have to do is to ensure that we're able to have domestic production. It's when we begin to produce domestically that we'll have products to export. And that's exactly what Dangote is doing. Sometime last year, we commissioned our fertilizer plant with a capacity of 3 million tons of urea per annum. And with that, we are now able to, beyond exporting cement and clinker, which we've been doing, we're able to also export urea to a number of African countries and to the rest of the world. So today, the Dangote Group exports cement from various countries. We export clinker, mainly from Nigeria, and looking at Congo as a potential destination as well for export. And we're exporting fertilizer. By next year, we will be looking to commission the refinery, and then we will be in a position to further improve our export portfolio to include petroleum products. In all this, it has not been an easy journey. When I look at our clinker export experience, at the beginning especially, we did struggle with the various customs and crossing. We sometimes have like 500 trucks queuing at the border crossings at any time. We are hoping that some of these things will be Five minutes. Okay, I think I'll be done soon. Lubricating the value chain when it comes to export is really important. In particular, customs. We typically experience significant delays when it comes to exporting. Sometimes in some countries like Benin, once our trucks enter, they are fitted with trackers. And then they are tracked all across the country until they get to the border, and then they stop, and the trackers are removed, and then they clear the next border, and so on and so forth. So a lot of time is spent at the border crossings, and also a lot of money. Sometimes when we look at the profit that we make in exports, you see that you're almost sharing the 50-50 with the customs authorities. So this is one critical area that needs to be addressed to enhance inter-African trade. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suleiman. Let's quickly, we have Mr. Osita Dima from Afrexim Bank. Thank you very much. Please put our hands together for him.
Good afternoon. My name is Osita Dima from Afrexim Bank, a division of Afrexim Bank called PAPS. PAPS stands for Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. So, multimedia, please help me quickly. Today I'll be speaking about payment, which is in the heart of trade in Africa. African countries today, it might interest you to know that the flight from here to Ghana takes less than 50 minutes, but the payment from a merchant here in Nigeria to a vendor in Ghana oftentimes takes 2 days or 3. Now, PAPS came to bridge the gap. As you can see here on the screen, Nigeria on the left-hand side, Ghana on the other side. You want to make a payment from Nigeria to Ghana. Oftentimes, the bank in Nigeria has a correspondent bank somewhere in New York, and the bank in Ghana has another correspondent bank. The implication of this is, one, the cost of payments. For you to make payment from Nigeria to Ghana, you have to factor in the costs, because each of the correspondent banks will have a commission. Secondly, the payments will be done in USD. And the question is, if I'm sending from Naira to a CD's economy, why do I need USD? That is what PAPS is address. Thirdly, this payment can be instant. If I send payment from Nigeria today, within 20 seconds, the person in Ghana should be able to receive the payment. And so, PAPS came to address these concerns. Help me move to the next. PAPS sits in the middle and removes the entire ecosystem of payment, the cobwebs of correspondent banking, and allow this payment to be made from Naira to cedis. So what this means is that when you are opening your LC and you want to make the payment using PAPS, instead of opening that LC in USD for a payment that is going from Nigeria to Ghana, or in Dalasi for a payment that is going from Nigeria to Gambia, or USD for a payment going from Nigeria to Gambia, you open it in the beneficiary currency, which is cedis, Dalasi for Gambia, Leones for Sierra Leone, Liberian dollars for Liberia. So PAPS will sit in the middle, allow you to make the payment instant. Now, move to the next slide and the last slide. Where have we covered in Africa? Africa has about 54 countries. Our objective is to have the entire 54 countries on the rail. It may not happen in a day, but we are making efforts to ensure that within 2 years we have that completed. But currently, what we do when we come to a country is that we integrate the central bank of that country. Today, we have 6 countries already integrated to PAPS. We have Nigerian Central Bank, as you can see over there. We have Nigerian Central Bank. We have Gambia. We have Ghana. We have Sierra Leone. We have Guinea. We have Liberia. These 6 central banks have already gone live. Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. They have gone live, and the stage where we are now is to start integrating commercial banks in those countries. We have also signed up the likes of Zimbabwe, but integration has not started. Djibouti, integration is yet to start. We integrate switches in different countries to make the onboarding process faster. And as you can see, we have the Rwanda switch, we have NIBS, we have GAM switch in Gambia. Who has gone live today in PAPS? In Nigeria, almost every bank in Nigeria is already doing integration to PAPS. However, we have like 5 banks already live. We have First Bank, we have Stanbic IBTC, we have Sterling Bank, we have UBA, we have Access Bank, Wema Bank. So these 6 banks are live, but our target is that between now and December, we should have at least 20 banks in Nigeria live on PAPS. In Ghana, we have Ghana Commercial Bank, GCB. We have UBA in Ghana, we have Prudential Bank, Consolidated Bank. But we also have target that between now and December, at least 12 banks in Ghana should be live in PAPS. And all you need to do is you want to make payment, you open your LC in local currency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ogu. Last but by no means the least, Mrs. Folashade Aluko, who is Senior Manager, Business Development in the Lagos Regional Office of the Nigerian Export-Import Bank.
Good afternoon, sir. Please permit me, in view of time, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Bring you greetings from the MD of Nigeria Export-Import Bank, Mr. Abba Bello, who is unable to attend this program, and he has given me words to speak to you this afternoon. Talking about NEXIM, NEXIM is Nigeria Export-Import Bank. We are the foremost institution, a trade facilitation established by the federal government of Nigeria to support export. And over the years, NEXIM has been, fulfilling its mandate through the provision of finance, risk-bearing services in form of export credit, guarantee, and export insurance. We also provide financial advisory services, as well as support other export development funds in line with government trade policy and best practices. Currently, NEXIM collaborates with key players in the export ecosystem, such as Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We collaborate with Nigeria Export Promotion Council. We also partner with the group Man Exports Group, Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, and the host of them. This is in a bid for us to provide solution to players in MAS, what we call MAS sector. MAS is an acronym for manufacturing, agriculture, services, and solid minerals. What programs do we currently pursue, and how has NEXIM support SME over the period? NEXIM has supported SME. Really, our mandate really is to support SME, to grow SME, to diversify the economy. And in doing this, we provide services such as short-term finance facility, like Afrexim mentioned earlier. We provide in working capital. We provide asset financing to enable you purchase your equipment to be able to produce and add value in order to export. Doing this, we have different funds that we have, provided. And then if you're looking at what we have been doing or what plans do we have for Nigerian exporter to explore the opportunity of AFTA, we're saying even before AFTA, NEXIM has focused on promoting inter-African trade. We have special products targeted at SMEs like what we call Women and Youth Export Development Funds. He said 5 minutes is over. Here to let you know that NEXIM is there, and our role is to support export. Our website is www.neximbank.com.ng. You can explore our website for our products and services. Our here in Lagos is on Gerrard Road, 18 Gerrard Road, and we have professionals. We have people that specialize in export trade that can help you through your processes. Our office is in Abuja, and in any case, if you need anything, I'm still around. You can still reach out to me. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Aluko. Thank you. We appreciate. Because CBN is already here, let me quickly invite the President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to make a presentation on behalf of the chamber. To who now? Okay, we'll skip that. Ghanaians that are here with your goods, I understand that you are beefing the Adire Oshogbo. Are you paying me? Adire Oshogbo paid me. Okay, please come and parade quickly. Quickly, as I will still invite the person who moved the vote of thanks. 1, 2, 3. Please come and parade. Hello? It's a window that you did not prepare for. Mr. Kukoli, please come and move the vote of thanks. Sorry, that opportunity is gone. I'm sorry, that opportunity is gone. Sorry. That opportunity is gone. Okay, please, if you are ready, as directed by the president, if you are ready, please come. Mr. Kade Olubiyi, Group Head Digital Banking UBA, has something to tell us, like the others have done. Please permit me, let me accord him the normal 5 minutes to talk about this. Okay, Mr. Olubiyi, please. Please put your hands together for him. Mr. is the Group Head Digital Banking of UBA. 1 minute gone, sir. 1 minute gone. Two minutes gone. So, Mr. Luby, you have 3 minutes left.
I'm so sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great. Okay, sorry. Great to be here today, Mr. President, all members of the board of LCCI, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please just allow me to stand on existing protocol. It's such an honor to have a few minutes to speak to us all today on this ongoing trade fair. I work with UBA. And as you all know, UBA, we are Africa's global bank. And it's so interesting that today is actually African Day. So I think for all of us who are proudly Africans, we should put our hands together in recognition of what this great continent, Africa, with over 1.3 billion people have to hold for the world. We are very strong. And for us, UBA today, we are in more than 20 African countries. And that's one of the things to just show our belief, our strength across Africa. We've been working with Afrexim, and after that's AFCTA is something that is very, is a platform that is being used to deepen trade integration across Africa. With Afrexim looking at increasing the trade penetration above a current 18%, growing that number by $35 billion annually, is something that UBA as a partner, as a major financial player in the financial ecosystem, is also involved with. We are strong partner, leading partner with Afrexim and PAPS, that's Pan-African Payment Settlement System, to deepen trade, intra-African trade across Africa. Pilot is currently ongoing, integration ongoing across 6 countries, and UBA is at the very forefront of that. I just thank you. So we, again, you know, we, because of our strong belief, we are actually, that's actually what the president was asking me, that I was to come back, because we had come and specifically be at the African here at the trade fair, and that's why I was explaining to him that that's why we're here. Again, congratulations, Mr. President. I want to say you and your team on the great job that the LCCI is doing. You have done this consistently over several years now, and we only believe that this will be beginning of greater things to come. On behalf of everyone from United Bank for Africa, you said? Okay. Iro would like to say, okay, sorry. We have a branch. Oh, okay, so we are, that's, I just took it for granted that we all know that UBA, we have a branch here, and I think I shared that before. LCCI is very important to us. We actually, said? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you so much. So we have a branch here at the event. We actually launched our flagship innovation center here in 2019 with LCCI, a self-service device that actually allows customers to open an account and get everything you need to be empowered with. And we have that. You can visit our stand here if you like to know more about us and see more of the innovation that we have to offer as a bank, United Bank for Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. UBA is actually a partner with the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Please put your hands together for them. Engineer Yokupoli, please move the vote of thanks. CBN, please get ready. They have been on my neck.
Hello. Gary say Gary, Gary stay together. Gary say Gary, Gary will continue. No, Gary will continue to stay together. You see, the African team used to be Gary say Gary, Gary run away. But now, Gary will say Gary, Gary will stay together. Africa must stay together. We won't run away. Nigerian jollof, Ghana jollof, stay together. On behalf of the council and member of the Trade Promotion Board of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we thank all our sponsors. And let me tell you this. Sometimes in 2019, our maiden edition, we went to Aprexim and they obliged us, even when we have never done it before. This is a project that Aprexim, they are one of the initiators and supporters of African Hall. Thank you very much, Aprexim. UBA in 2019, you did a double sponsoring. You sponsored the entire trade fair and you sponsored the African Hall. We were in it together. And ever since, we have the Dangote that have their seat in African country. Dangote, thank you very much for being part of African Hall. And that we the president of the country, MTN, thank you very much. I know our sponsor for this year, we say thank you to Meccano. Then we the country of Africa coming together. Gary will always say Gary, and Gary will run away. But now that Gary will say Gary, that Gary is taking. South Sudan, we need your fish to take Gary. Rwanda, Ghana, Cameroon, and our brother, that is Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire. I told the ambassador to Argentina that we keep on together. He said he needs more than football. Just football that want to play. He want to play in the economy of Nigeria. You are welcome. By next year, I can assure you, you will have a whole pavilion to yourself, to express yourself, and to give your people the opportunity to have their food in Nigeria. In his word, Africa play football together. Play the economic activity of Africa together. We have seen, all of us have been talking about the Asian tiger. They have 70% of their trade together. We only have 18% of ours. By next year, and I think what we will have will be about 25 to 30%. On that, I say thank you very much. By the 3rd of November next year, 3rd of November next year to 12th of November next year, we want to see you all here again, a part of the trade fair.
On a final note, just as the keepsake, I'd like to invite the President, His Excellency the Ambassador, and every dignitary on the front row to please come for a group photograph as a keepsake of this event. Please let's do that quickly. Yes, up here, sir. Chalubi, Honorable Minister. Nigerian traders, I am not calling you. I am not calling you. Media, please. Thank you very much, media. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. President, our distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. God bless you. After the national anthem, cordially invited to the Africa Hall and the various pavilions of the participating countries. But shortly after this, immediately after this, we have the Central Bank of Nigeria taking the center stage. The Central Bank of Nigeria will be taking the center stage. After the national anthem, as the Central Bank is getting ready, the Nigerian traders here, the Nigerian exhibitors here will parade on the stage. Shall we rise for the Nigerian national anthem? God bless Nigeria. Please, Nigerian exhibitors, you can just parade on the stage while CBN is getting ready. Central Bank of Nigeria, please. Central Bank of Nigeria, please. CBN. Please wait for the CBN special day audience. Please wait for the CBN special day. I can assure you, please. Make sure you go and take loan at the bank. There are facilities for you there.